Hi, and welcome to Soul Activation Podcast, a world-class broadcast of spiritual insight and inspiration with me, Suzanne Alexandria. In this series, we dive deep into the magical sea of you, to that place in you that's ready to activate, but might not even know what that means. Do you crave to be more spiritually connected? Intriguing, fun, and full of magic, we'll laugh and cry and talk about how crazy this life is, offering healing and insights to lean into. This show broadcasts from pure divine love. Are you ready to light your eternal flame, to spark some magic? Let's talk transformation. Hi, friends, and welcome. It's me, Suzanne Alexandria, and I'm so happy to have you today to be talking. I'm going to welcome callers to our number. There's an 800 number on the Transformation Talk Radio website and interaction on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and you want to ask questions or chime in, please do. Hoping this will be a bit interactive. I'm going to be talking about something kind of basic, but also very mysterious still, which is Reiki. And I know lots of listeners on this whole network are used to, probably very familiar, but lots of the people who I encounter as a coach and a healer are still very new to Reiki and what it is. And to me, I kind of envision and dream about a world where more and more and more people wake up to, if not Reiki, at least the knowing that we are energy. And that as energetic beings, we're as much energy as physical, that there are some things we can do to tend to that and to take care, just like we brush our teeth, just like we, go to the chiropractor. We have energy bodies that can really be served by being paid attention to, and actually are always trying to talk to us. So in this broadcast, it's about the magic of Reiki, but it's also going to be about demystifying, because I've also been on the side of Reiki and the fear. And some of you might be familiar with that. So I'm going to tell some stories about that. And all that just with the interest of sharing my perspective about what Reiki is. I teach Reiki. I'm a teacher. I work with energy every day with myself in my home, with my children, and here in my office. And I love to, one of my favorite joys is to really expose people to what it is and how powerful a modality, how powerful a method Reiki is. So that's what today is about. I welcome questions. I welcome feedback. And about halfway through this, we're going to experience a Reiki meditation, a guided meditation with loving Reiki energy. So stay tuned for that. You can incorporate it into your meditation if you haven't meditated today, or if you have, you'll get an extra one. So it is my sincere pleasure. You can find me on my website at suzannealexandria.com. Just FYI, I've got information about Reiki and about the classes I teach. But most of all, you can reach out and schedule a free call or reach out to me through Facebook, send me an email, suzanne@suzannealexandria.com. Lots of ways to reach me if you're curious about this topic or if Reiki calls to you. Because one thing I do know is that Reiki calls to us. And, every time I meet someone new, a new client or a participant in a class, they've gotten the inspiration somewhere. Someone told them, or maybe more than one person told them, hey, you should try Reiki, or you might want to learn Reiki. It's like it's a modality and it's a methodology. And I kind of liken it to learning how to practice yoga or learning how to practice Tai Chi or Qigong, which I also love and do almost daily. It's a practice, but it's more than that, because Reiki helps us tap in to that eternal light. That is the subject of this entire podcast, your eternal light. You are an eternal light being. You have a magnificent soul. you are so much grander and bigger than this body and this human experience. And Reiki for me has become one of the primary teachings and instruments or methods for me to tap in and connect right into here, my heart, but upward too, to that divine love, to source, to the angel realm. And so those who work with me usually are interested in all of those things, as well as its healing benefits, healing properties. So I'll go into some of that as well. But I want to get really real first, because this morning, I'm not going to lie, I was planning to come to my office and have a normal day of it. And this very primordial fear came up. And to be honest, that kind of fear is what drove me to Reiki years ago. I first learned Reiki when I was pregnant with my first child. And that was like almost 20 years ago. And it was something that I just had to know. And I was living and working in Washington, D.C. at the time in a corporate job. And nobody around me talked about it. This was, a long time ago, really, in the scope of these things. And, but I knew that I needed it. And often that's what happens with people, is that you hear about it, or you hear about it for, the second or third time. And then you're like, oh, I do. I want to know what that is. So I love teaching from the beginning, because it's just a beautiful tool for awakening into the more, what's under there, what's under the sea of you, or the sea of chi energy. So I came around to it, but I stayed in Washington, D.C. 10 more years almost. And I just kind of lost touch with it until I came back to it like a decade ago. And so, but this fear this morning took me quite by surprise, because I knew I was going to be talking about Reiki. And then I didn't really put two and two together until I thankfully got on the phone with a dear sister friend and realized, oh my gosh, like either I'm tapping into the collective fear, or I'm also still connected to some fear within myself about Reiki, because it took a long time to come around to being okay with this line of work that I do, because so many people still don't understand it. And, in the everyday, it's still very woo-woo and it's still weird. And frankly, Reiki in particular is laden with a lot of stigma. And that stigma, we come by it quite naturally. It turns out, there's societal fears. People have preconceived notions of anything like that from their own religious backgrounds, which might be more judgmental. Stories, our history, the history of witches doing weird things in the name of healing and being burned at the stake, you name it. But the laying on of hands, that, healing through loving touch, has been something humans have done forever. We help each other when we lend a hand, when we touch someone, when we say, oh, I know, I got you. And that's what Reiki is. It's like the connection that we all inherently have. We are wired for it. However, it's been unwired by lots of deep things. Some of those are past lives. Some of those are societal. Some of those are stories that we've heard. Some of it is real fear, brought about in institutions. We don't have to go into that, but that's what I was feeling today. And it almost made me nauseous, because there was still some of that left in me too, to talk about this in an open platform. And so I wanted to share and say, if there's any of that with you, you're on this topic in particular, or anything so deeply connecting, you're not alone. And when I started to process it, I realized, I could count. I've taught hundreds of people, I've worked with hundreds of people, and most of them, when they came for the first time to a class or to a session, most of them were scared. Most of them like arrived to my space, to my office and say, oh my gosh, I was just feeling so anxious, so nervous. I can't believe, I don't know what's going on. And they don't also necessarily put two and two together, but it's very real for them. And so I get that. I've had people, ask me if it was related to, I don't even want to go give it names. I think you can imagine. And I get that. And no question is too weird or nothing is too scary for me. Trust me. Because I've seen it all and I've felt it all and I've experienced a good deal of it. So in terms of the fear, but I also realized that when I learned Reiki some years ago, I learned from a teacher who gave me the skills that I needed, but also a very healthy dose of fear. And when I began teaching, actually engendered in me this terror that I started to remember this morning, because this goes back years. I was starting to teach, I got to teach Reiki at my church in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. I've taught several of the ministers and the parishioners there, and it's a huge blessing. And I was teaching there, and this teacher had told me, oh, there are dark forces that'll be against you, and your car might get a flat tire on the way to class, or your printer might break down. Just be prepared, because there's a lot of opposing forces with what you're trying to do. And that was my introduction. And I don't even know why I still did it. Something in me created, like, I wanted to probably wanted to see deep down if I could succeed, but it took quite a lot to come out of that, like, total, oh my gosh, what's going to happen on the way to the church to teach this? So I came through that, and here I am, and I've taught many people since then. I've taught nurses at one of our big local hospitals through a program. I've taught children. I've taught parents. I teach, other healers, especially through my Wings of Isis program. But by and large, many of them have had similar coming to it, like, I don't know why I need this or want this, but I do. And so once we dig into the causes of that, they become like so okay, and obviously carry on and do it. But I just wanted to talk about that, because those fears are real. But man, if there's anything I'm going to do here, it is break down a lot of that, demystify what this magical source light is, because it's magical. And I don't think I'd be here without it, because I found Reiki because I had extreme anxiety for my significant decades in my life, and nothing was working. And it helped me get at the source of what that was. And it was finally the one thing that I found that could help me uncover, unfurl, and really heal at the deepest, deepest levels. And that's what I teach. So that's all today about the fear that I really want to touch on. We're going to take a very short break. And when I come back, I'm going to start to talk about the good stuff, the magic of Reiki, and how might you incorporate it? How do we use it in our everyday? How do we mainstream energy, tending to our energy as much as tending to these physical bodies? So stay tuned, and I'll be right back after this break. Hi, friends, and welcome back. I'm Suzanne Alexandria, and today we're talking about Reiki and its transformative magical powers. So, I've just spoken a bit about some of the engendered fear around this topic, but we're not going to go there anymore. We're moving on to the magic because to me, Reiki and energy and sacred energy work is pure magic. It's transformative. And the reason I teach it and use these modalities is because when you can shift your energy, you can shift your life. Just like today, there's so many teachers also talking about, myself included, when you can shift your thoughts, you can shift your life. You shift your attitude, everything changes. You become peaceful, you get aligned, you become so much more centered in what you're doing and who you are, even why you're here, all of those kinds of things. And that is the magic of it. It is pure magic when you think about it. Because I mean, I have some sense, but I don't even really know how this stuff works. But I know that it's real and I know that it works. So I'm going to guide a really beautiful Reiki meditation during the second part of this show. So you'll perhaps want to stay tuned for that with angelic vibrations and Reiki. But first, I'm going to talk about some of the practicalities and the whys for me. It's different for all of us. But I mean, fundamentally, Reiki, and we say this, Reiki is love. Reiki is source light. And just as I'm saying that, the sun came in onto my face. So thank you, sun. Thank you, universe. But it's source. It's healing light. And it's in you. It's not just outside of you. It's within you. You are it. And if you think about times in your day, in your life where you are touched by something. For instance, I mean, maybe it's literally when a person has reached out and touched your shoulder and said, "You're going to be okay." There's Reiki there. There's an exchange of love. There's a vibration that lets you take a breath and settle, maybe even cry, but settle into connection, settle back into your body, be here and realize, okay, yeah, this too shall pass. This thing called Reiki is at play there. It's healing love, it's light love. When someone looks you in the eye and says, "I got you, I know what you're going through, you're not alone, I'm here." That's what we're talking about. That's Reiki. In fact, I think it's because it's so powerful that it's been so, people are, some are so against it because it's powerful. It's the stuff that can move mountains. It's the stuff that can shift our perceptions and help us part the curtains, part the clouds, to see the light, to be in the light. That is what we're talking about. That is Reiki. It means literally spiritually guided healing energy. And we all are wired to be connected, to convey it, to channel it. We call it channeling. That word even freaks people out, but it's real. When you say something to a child or a loved one or a parent, and it comes from your heart, you're channeling love, you're channeling light, you're channeling a message that they need. And that's what we do when we learn to cultivate a practice of channeling Reiki, of attuning ourselves to a very high vibration that can work with us, within us, through us, that can heal, that can repair, that can open, awaken. And so one of the things I teach it for is for spiritual awakening, but for grounding in, so that meditation can be much more, let's say, like effective, A lot of people have trouble meditating because of the crazy brain, crazy mind, and learning that there's energy that can help soften and relax and calm and ground and let you feel magnetically connected to the earth. It's a huge asset to that process of connecting and going within and doing whatever you want to do in meditation, whether it's sit or ask questions or write or whatever it is. So, Reiki is that, and energy, vibration is all around us. And if only more of us knew, like there's a scale of vibrations. There's really low vibrations that you find a lot on the TV, for instance. And there's high vibrations that you cultivate and tap into through practices like this. So, what would our world be like is what I like to dream about and what I believe in. It's a world where more and more people are connecting up here to the higher, lighter vibrations of the stars, of source, of the angel realm, and living in the world, but not tapping in. Like it's kind of like a plug. I don't have a plug right here, but you have your own choice in where you plug into. You can plug your awareness into TV, like the news, or into a really good movie, into a really good book that makes you feel good or bad, or into vibrations created by thoughts and awareness that are super high or low. So we all have the choice, and the question is, what do you want to choose? And to me, learning the practices to cultivate energy, to channel it, and even work with it, like through qigong, that's so empowering. When you realize you're not at the mercy of lower vibrations, you can step out in about a few breaths. You can step out by, giving yourself some love Reiki for like 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. You can profoundly transform your life. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like using this as a magical resource that anyone can tap into to change your whole outlook by shifting, by saying, yeah, I'm going to do that instead of maybe making another choice, maybe choosing like to go eat something that's not healthy or drink something that's not the greatest. Or maybe choose, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to like practice my techniques. So that's kind of my why. But and I'm endeavoring to teach more, especially our young people, about how to do this themselves, because if anyone needs resources, they do, especially during this time of quarantine where feelings are all over the board for our students. That's a whole other topic, but Reiki is a tool that is so powerful. So we've touched on the fact that it's life force, it's source energy, it's love. And how we do it, I'm going to guide you in a meditation after our next short break. But I wanted to just touch on, for listeners who might be new to any of this, if you're seeking how to be more spiritually guided, how to connect to spirit, your guides, maybe deceased loved ones, maybe there is this realm beyond and you want to tap into that more. Learning about energy, learning how to shift your energy is fundamentally the secret to tapping into higher realms, because all of that exists, but just at a higher place, if that makes sense. So consider it like yourself, like the Eiffel Tower. We are these antennas, and you get messages all the time. They come from your brain, they come from spirit, they come from your higher self. Reiki is a tool that can help you open. If you're like the Eiffel Tower, this grounded person, but who is energy and who's like a radio, always getting signals, feeling things, sensing things, you can learn to change and adjust your energy so that you get to the right frequencies that you want to, for instance, to communicate or to get more grounded. Like, I love the image that my guides gave me of the Eiffel Tower because it has that really solid foundation. And most of the people I work with, when they first start working with me, they're not super grounded because they don't even really know that's a thing. And then they start to realize, oh, feeling grounded actually, to be honest, it solves a lot of problems. It helps with anxiety, it helps with, the chaos of the mind. And so just getting to that point of grounded solidness, that's what you're going to experience with the meditation that I'm going to bring in, a special Reiki chakra meditation. But that's one of the big whys. Because, like I said, imagine if people tended to themselves in this way more and more, if more of us did. I'm not saying you don't, but if more of us did, and we're solid and anchored in who we are and in being on this planet, so that we can look at life from a much more solid place instead of like the worry mind, the crazy brain thinking, worrying about the future, worrying about what's going on all the time. That's pretty much one of the fundamental ways Reiki helps us to be. It's also extremely, extremely healing. And that's kind of like a whole other subject, but we use Reiki in healing because it is scientifically proven now that it calms the body, it calms the nervous system, it calms all the systems. And when the body calms, then things like the immune system can kick in and work. A lot of our disease and dysfunction comes from anxiety and stress that keep us in this really compressed kind of way of being. And after time, that causes problems. It causes, blocks, and it causes sickness. And so fundamentally, Reiki helps to calm and clear and go like this, like the feeling after a deep breath or after a long vacation. It's like that. It brings your energy to a place of openness and receptivity so that your body can do what it knows how to do. Now, it gets far more complex in beautiful ways, but fundamentally, I did just want to touch on that since this is a podcast about the magic of Reiki. That's fundamentally the underlying way it heals. So with all of that, I would like to invite you to get comfortable. We're going to take a short 2-minute break, and then we're going to come back and go through a guided meditation. So if you feel like grabbing a drink of something or some headphones, that would be perhaps helpful. And then we'll have a lovely Reiki experience together. So I'll see you back in just a couple minutes. Hi, friends, and welcome back. I'm Suzanne Alexandria, and we are embarking on a fun meditation experience next with Reiki. So, a Reiki meditation specifically to help you shift your energy, because as I've been saying, when you can shift your energy, you can shift your life. Really, you shift your thoughts, your perspective shifts, everything gets better when you do it like this. And we do this with spirit. To me, the fun of it is the co-creation of this new way of being in the whole 5D realm we're tapping into with spirit, with spirits, spirit guides, but also the energy of spirit. Because I don't know about you, but it feels so good to bring that into my reality here on earth, into my home, into my office, into my life. So that's what this is about. We're going to focus very specifically on calming, on using Reiki energy to calm, and very specifically your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve runs from like the base of your spine down, and it's instrumental in feeding the network to your organs, kind of like channeling light and life essence to your organs. And so I thought that would be a really helpful exercise, because when you focus on your vagus nerve and bring attention to it and calm it, you feel so much better almost instantly. And you might even already be feeling a little better just thinking about it. Because when you think about it, your body perks up and like, oh, we're working on the vagus nerve. Okay, got it. Okay, we're calming. When you tell your body to calm and you have a little bit of help, it's pretty miraculous. Then you can go about your day and go create what you're doing, go, make money, do whatever it is, make music. So we're going to focus on that, and also your pillar of light, which will bring all of your chakras into loving harmony with a little golden light love and some help from the angel realm. So we're working today with a group called the Council of Light that is comprised of many angelic ascended masters and loved ones and archangels. And so we invite you to just be in receipt of divine love. Divine love. We call it Reiki. It is Reiki, and yet it's also so much bigger than just that. But allow yourself. So I invite you, unless you're driving, to close your eyes and to start to take some breaths, specifically as you take breaths, to bring your awareness to the up and down points of your back of your neck, all the way down to the base of your spine. And you don't have to know where it is, but calling in your attention and awareness to your vagus nerve. That is kind of like a big root that sends love and pulses and information throughout your body. And allow Reiki to light up around you like a beautiful bubble of white, pure light, pure, radiant love light. You might picture yourself in a white bubble, like a cloud, a Reiki cloud. There we go. And let it start to soften the space around you. Let it start to harmonize you with the space around you. And let it gently open your feet to a deeper connection to Mother Earth. Reiki can help ground when things get a little chaotic. It can help you ground. So allow it to bring you down, visualizing perhaps yourself like the Eiffel Tower with those 4 pedestals that are so solid on the earth. Sinking down, and allow Reiki to start to move back and forth, kind of just like a cloud moving back and forth. Let's just call it a cloud of Reiki light. And it's going to just move around through you and help you come into center, come into alignment. It's going to work with every single chakra. And you have a lot more than just your 7, but the rainbow array of chakras are all going to become aligned, all centered, and all working more in harmony after this. So allow that experience of Reiki, a cloud of Reiki around you, and it's going to gently swirl around your head. Not around, it's going to just settle around your head and harmonize those chakras, your upper chakras. And then just allow this love vibration to assimilate you into a new shifted energy, a new shifted way of being. And then while that's happening, allow yourself to start to take in, oh, I feel better. What if you also add some positive thoughts? I feel better. I feel more awake. I am aligned. I am centered. I am grounded. And I am loved. And notice what that's doing when you shift your energy and your thoughts. You're pretty powerful. You're pretty magical. You are all that. And visualize your beautiful, bright pillar of light. There's a pillar of light that comes from Source, and it is yours. It's a pillar that goes through kind of through your head and down through your body and all the way down into the earth. And when I first started learning about energy, when I learned about this pillar of light, the ability to call in this light that is mine, it's mine. You have your own. You're sovereign. It's your sovereign light body, your sovereign light lifeline. When I started to learn about that, my anxiety started to change because I started to realize I wasn't at the mercy of every crazy thing going on around me. That's how powerful we can be when we even know these things are a thing. It's a funny way to say that, but you have this pillar of light that goes from Source all the way down through you. And right now it's harmonizing all of your energy centers in your body, and especially your feet, to anchor you in this new reality, which is grounded. And so allow your feet even to get more connected to the earth as your pillar of light anchors you. And you can take in more positive thoughts, saying something like, I am light. I am grounded. I am Source. I am loved. I am love in action. I am divine. I am a spirit in this body. Your soul is a spirit. And in this way, Reiki inspires you. You inspire. You breathe it in. You call it in. You allow it in. And it surrounds you and it is you. And just imagine all the little cells in your body lighting up with a little more breath. If you want to take a breath in and fill each cell with a little Reiki and notice how you feel. Like each cell is a little cloud that gets puffed up, that gets happy. It's like your cell just had a cup of coffee but didn't need the coffee. Imagine every single cell in your body like a puffy, healthy, happy cloud with a smiley face on it. That's the vibration of Reiki. It's the vibration of divine love that's here, that surrounds you, that is you, that is given to you, that is poured into you by this band of angels around you at all times. You might wish to kind of turn your head upwards. If the sun is in a certain direction, maybe go towards the sun or to the imagined sun or the moon, the stars, and just let yourself be in receiving mode of Reiki. Pure love and pure light. As it pours through and it fills every little space where it's needed, because that's one of the rules of it. It goes where it's needed, it goes where it's desired, it goes where it's called in, it never does harm. Pure light. Beautiful. And then allow that to continue while you feel and imagine around you a pure, like an egg shell, but an energetic eggshell of solid gold. The Council of Light would wish to bestow upon you this gift of knowing you can create this circle of pure gold, kind of like a light love shield container. It's yours. You're made of gold. You're the purest form of source. So imagine, and in your imagining, create a circle of gold around you that ensconces and holds you for the rest of this day. And you have access to that at any time you want. At any time you wish, you can get into your gold bubble. You can remember it's there. You can, activate it, turn it on, puff it up, whatever feels like the right terminology. But it's a light shield, and we'll just make sure that it's nice and smooth and there's no leaking, there's no it's impervious because it's yours and you make it so. So you can even command only the highest vibration is in my space now and at all times. All other energy is just not allowed in here. And fundamentally, that's one of the best ways I use Reiki, is to just kind of be able to stay clear so I can do my work and enjoy my time. So you've just called that in. Let's call it your golden Reiki bubble. And then tune back into your vagus nerve, running down your center, your core, and allow a little more power, a little more light to flow to each organ, to your muscles, to your heart, to your lungs, to your stomach. Let it infuse. Let the light fill you. The light from heaven, the light from the earth. It's all love. Beautiful. So we're going to leave you in this bubble. It's yours. You get to turn that on anytime you want. And if this is new to you, well, enjoy the experience of creating this reality. To me, this is how we create heavenly feelings on earth. That's how we bring heaven to earth, quite literally, because you open yourself up and then you let yourself get filled by the stuff that the stars are made of, the stuff that you're made of, me, we all are made of this stardust. It's pretty fun and it's magical. So I hope that you have found a little something enlightening, a little something that lights up your day in this podcast today. And once again, I'm Suzanne Alexandria. You can find more about me on my website, suzannealexandria.com. If you're interested in learning Reiki, I offer a number of ways to learn it. And I love to teach it. And I love to really bring in the empowerment, the autonomy, the sovereignty that comes with realizing that you're not at the mercy of outside energy or outside forces, if you will, whatever you want to call it. You have what you need. We just need to bring our awareness to it and imagine if more and more of us tended to ourselves like this, wouldn't the world start to feel way, way, way better out there? But it all starts right in here. So we do it here and we make a powerful, powerful shift. And that's like the drop that creates a ripple effect. So I just thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time I'm here on Transformation Talk Radio every second and fourth Monday. And I'm on YouTube and Facebook, so do reach out. And I would love to connect if you're interested in learning more or experiencing more of this for your own health or healing path. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Namaste. To me, this path of healing and enlightenment is this immaculate process of finding all the parts of us that have been lost and hidden and even taken, and then very masterfully and lovingly recombining ourselves, coming into our true self, and then all of a sudden realizing, oh my gosh, I'm home. Thank you for listening to Soul Activation Podcast. For more information about me, visit SuzanneAlexandria.com. Tune in every second and fourth Monday, 2 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern at TransformationTalkRadio.com.